How often do you make it around your property?
Every day.
Every day.
We have 9 pastures that are
Okay.
fenced,
Right.
and I can't keep cattle in those pastures because of cut fences from illegals.
Right.
So what I do is I do the perimeter, just keep the cattle on the ranch, keep
Right.
mainly getting them off the highway. I've got to check water every day too. We pump water from 2 different spots, with 17 miles of pipeline. But that historically, that was the weak link. People trying to get a drink, break the pipes and wasting water. I don't know how many millions of gallons of water we've lost just running on the ground. Water's pretty sacred down here.
Well, sure. Of course,
But,
it is everywhere.
But I spend about 50% of my time checking.
How many people did you say have died on this property?
14
14.
that I know of.
You know, we all need to get this in perspective too. When you're talking that many acres, an animal could get them before you would ever know.
Yeah.
So you may take 14, but in reality, only God knows.
Right.
Only God knows how
Right.
many people just on your property alone.
Yeah. The majority of them are either, well, they're all weather related, but heat stroke or they freeze to death.
Mm-hmm.
America needs to understand that they're being smuggled in here and they're being told that Sierra Vista is Phoenix. So you don't need to bring anything. All you gotta do is get to those lights.
Right.
That's Phoenix. So they're in a t-shirt and Levi's. So they freeze to death.
Wow.
And then in the summer, right now is pretty much June and July or when it gets hot, and they die of heat stroke. The other misconception about ranchers is we're bigots and racists and everything else, but we've provided more aid and humanitarian gestures than anybody could ever imagine. There's always been people coming, especially at the border town. 60s and 70s, if somebody was migrating, they'd come by and you'd feed them, and then they'd work the rest of that day
They'd
for
earn
you.
that sandwich
That-
or that water, whatever you
Right.
gave them.
And then we had a little bunkhouse. They'd spend the night, and then they'd go.
Yeah.
And in the 90s, that didn't happen anymore. They come in, they all gonna get water and something to eat, but no thank you, no nothing, just boom, going north.
Yeah.
That's what changed with the whole society in Mexico.
Right.
And those were people coming to better themselves. I'll say that honestly, is they were coming to America to make their fortune.
Right.
And okay, I get it. And American employers hired them so that it was capable of doing it.
Right.
And then the last probably 10 years, they're coming to abuse the system.
Right.
They're not gonna make their fortune. We're gonna live off of America.
Right.
Already, these are floodgates.
They're wide open. Will they really actually have the nerve to say that that's what it's for?
That's what it's for. These are floodgates.
So all they have to, and Alex, all they have to do is walk through.
There you go. Do you see a Border Patrol here?
No.
Okay.
But I see a path, a perfect path to it.
Well, sure. This is one of the issues that you wonder from leadership why we're doing this. Even though we've got gun battles going on now, fighting over territory, we haven't had, as far as I know, we haven't had any cartel battles on the ranch.
Okay.
They've stayed on the south side.
Have you ever heard them?
Oh yeah.
So you actually hear the guns?
Oh yeah.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
Yeah. Especially at the border town. That's a third world country over there.
Right.
And a border town is different when you go further down.
Right.
But Mexico is controlled by cartels.
Right.
They got more money than the government does.
Right.
You got more influence.
Right. What's the scariest thing that's ever happened to you?
Had an Uzi pointed at me.
Ooh, Jiminy Christmas.